Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hello, hello. It is Daily Dish time and I'm ready to rock and roll. I hope you're joining us today like Jeanette is. Hi, Jeanette. So glad that you're here. Very glad to, always glad to have people come in and greet one another and be together. I mean, it's a good thing, isn't it? I think it's a really good thing. Anyway, I know I'm here. As Jenny said, you're here early. No, I'm on time. So I was on time today, but we chit-chatted for a little bit, but here we all are. Today it's going to be two cosmic 2x4s coming at you. I at least they came at me, so I'm hoping that I can pass this along. Hi, Jeanette. It's good to have you here. So I'm hoping that I can pass those along to you because I thought this is something, this is something I needed to hear. And I always figure, gosh, if I need to hear it, so does somebody else, right? Maybe it's not you, or maybe it is. But I think it's really, very definitely worth talking about. Our quote of the week is just such a delicious, yummy quote of the week. And of course, Maya Angelou did it. Every storm runs out of rain. Isn't that so true? Hi, Jackie. So good to have you here. I love this quote for so many reasons, but one of the biggest ones is that we need to keep in mind so many times, so often, so when we're feeling just so down and whatever, that the storm will run out of rain and that this too will pass and that there are good times ahead. There is sunshine ahead. And even when it doesn't feel like it, I promise you this is the darn truth. Absolutely the truth. So I'm sharing this with you. I needed this one, by the way. Can I just tell you what a dumb thing that I did? I'm going to tell you because confession is good for the soul. Well, I found these. I wanted two swivel chairs in my living room because, there's the couch and I wanted one swivel chair on either end, right? I wanted that. And I wanted them to kind of swivel so that we could like watch TV or turn around and have a conversation or whatever. I just like swivel chairs. I think they're really cool. So I found these swivel chairs on Marketplace and I said, you know what? Those are pretty cool looking. Hey, Jocelyn. And I said, and then my bonus daughter was here who is an award-winning interior designer. And I said, what do you think of those? She goes, yeah, they kind of look real Pottery Barnish and they're really good. And what are the measurements? And so I showed her, what the measurements were and everything. And I said, they maybe look a little bit old, but I think they'd work. So we measured and she said, yeah, I think they'd work in this space. So Mark was like, yeah, I'm really not feeling it. I'm not really good on them and they're far away. So I had to kind of commit and pay this guy to deliver them. And I said, you know what? They're just right. This is exactly what I want. Well, they get here and they're small, they're tiny, they're really worn. And Mark was so mad at me. He was so mad because he said, why'd you do this? He said, it's like you went behind my back. He said, I wasn't feeling it. And you went and got them anyway. And I said, well, I talked to Leah. Anyway, I feel like a dumbass. It was a dumbass move. And now we've got these stupid chairs. They're too tiny. And I got to get rid of them and sell them on Marketplace and all of that. But I felt so bad about myself. I went and took the dog for like this really long walk and talking to myself and trying not to feel so bad. But you know what it is? We feel bad about doing dumb things, don't we? I mean, I do. I feel bad when I do something dumb. I feel bad when I disappoint my husband like that. He didn't deserve that. He deserved me to step up to the plate. And I didn't. So I just want to say to you, we all make mistakes. We all make errors. We all are sometimes a dumbass, and we do things that aren't necessarily in line with our values or other people's values. And yet, the storm will run out of rain. It will. And we can only kick ourselves so far. And I'm done kicking myself for that was yesterday. This is today. And now I've got a plan. I'm just gonna get rid of those damn stupid chairs. And push comes to shove, I'll have Habitat come get them. But the point is, we all do it. And we all get into these places of just this unequivocal, um, just the blues, and we just feel down and we're just this, that, and the other thing. Everyone goes through these things. It's part of the human equation. So I like this one so much because it's just such a reminder that yes, the storm will run out of rain and we'll see the sun again. God bless them. And so glad you're here. So that's something that's something that I just, true confessions, had to get rid of it. And that's the last you're going to hear of it, except when I sell those stupid chairs or get rid of them and take a glory lap, whatever. The other thing I want to tell you about is card cutter. I told you about this in an email. If you got my email, this is my go-to. Tonight is Mark's birthday. Today is Mark's birthday. He's 69. I'm married to an old guy. I tell him that all the time. He's got 3+ years on me. But anyway, he just turned 69, and I am going to give him a lovely birthday dinner. He wants a little surf and turf. So we're having crab legs and steak. There will be a baked potato, and I will have that baked potato, and I will have card cutter with it. Just cause. Hey, Catherine. Thank you. I'll tell Mark you said hello. He was so blessed with how many people have been texting him and Facebooking him and calling him. So, this is a man who his love language is words of affirmation. So I will pass all of this on to him. Thank you. That's really sweet. So steak, crab, and then I'm making him chocolate cake with whipped cream and raspberries because that's his favorite thing. I won't have any of that. I know what that tastes like. But I will have that baked potato. Even though I am sprinting and it's still going well. How's your sprint going, by the way? How is your sprint going? Are you pinkies up on this sprint? April is such a good month for it. We're also going to do some spring cleaning. We are going to do the Vibrant Body Detox. We have not done that in a few years. Can you imagine that? So we're taking a look at this. I was looking through the manual, whatever, the guide that comes with it. And I just went through it all, and I went, this is a good program. Why haven't we been doing this? Good grief. So we're doing it. We're doing it again on April 15th is when you can do the webinar. You can go sign up now. You go to savingdinner.com/restore. You can sign up for the webinar, and then we'll start on the following 22nd. It's 10 days, and you take a supplement that supports your body's detox capabilities. And it's not one of these weird detoxes where you just get sick. Some people just get sick. But I'm going to tell you, it is going to be, I'm fully expecting a full house. I'm fully expecting to run out of our supplements. I'm expecting that because this is such a great detox. This is the time to do it, right? We've got allergy season here. We've got all kinds of things going on. This is a great time to get this going and get on it. I'm excited for it. Plus the recipes are killer. Let me just say that. One more thing that I wanted to tell you about. So don't forget about that. It's the Vibrant Body Detox, and it starts on the 22nd. Our webinar is on April 15th. That's a Monday, April 15th at 7 p.m. Sign up for it at savingdinner.com/restore. It's going to be a good one. The other thing, just before I got on here, I had a little lunch. And as I was eating my lunch, I didn't have time to go brush my teeth. But you know what I did? I went and got myself a piece of xylitol gum. They look just like chiclets. And I chewed really fast for like 10 minutes. That xylitol takes care of all of the bacteria that's in your mouth, and you just, spit it out. I don't like walking around, with a piece of, I feel like a cow, with my cud, but it does the trick. And I just wanted to tell you about that. I don't have a link or anything for you, but, look up xylitol gum on Amazon and get yourself some. It's just a really good way to get that bacteria out of your mouth and to mitigate this idea of having cavity. Who wants a cavity? Who wants somebody drilling on your teeth? I found out about this from Rhonda Patrick, if you know who she is. She is a PhD research scientist, and she researches everything. She's nutrition minded, fabulous. And I pay for her to teach me once a week. And I love all the things that because everything is backed up with science. And she had 4 cavities when she went to the dentist, and the dentist is saying, let's make your appointment, let's drill them. And she was like, hold on a minute. Went and got this xylitol gum because she'd been doing research on xylitol. The only thing different that she had done for her dental health, or even food or anything that she'd done that was different, was she started eating her xylitol gum. And guess what? Chewing her xylitol gum after every meal. And those cavities, she went out back for the dentist to look at it again. No cavities. So I don't know about you. Xylitol gum for me. All right. All right. So we talked about I gave you all the announcements. I gave you a little extra bonus story and a little tip on keeping the cavities at bay in your mouth. So now let's get into the meat of the matter, which is, I promised you at the beginning of the show, 2 cosmic 2x4s are going to come your way. At least they did for me. And the first one is the opening line, and it's this: often the thing that is holding you back is the thing you're holding on to. Did you feel it? Cosmic 2x4. This is a powerful reflection of the nature of our own growth and the obstacles that we face on our journey. We're all in this together. We're all on a path. Your path probably looks a whole lot different than mine, and it's not about sitting here and doing the whole comparison thing about our past. It's about being on the path, being able to go around, or however we need to on those obstacles. And it's also about being able to identify them along the way. And sometimes the thing that's holding you back is the thing that you are holding on to. And when we hold on to something, that suggests that our actions, beliefs, or emotional attachments, particularly the things we cling to most tightly, can be the very barriers that are holding us back from the life that we are desperately looking for. Because one of the things that happens when we start getting desperate is we start doing things that maybe we're not so keen on. Maybe with things that it's sort of like you're desperate for love and you're looking for somebody and all of this. But if you are in that place of desperation, your standards start to slip and you start going with whatever you can get, right? We don't want to be in that place of desperation. We want to be in this place of understanding that we can let go of things and we can gain by letting go. We can get what it is that we are actually seeking by letting go of the thing that we've been clinging to. That's not the other 2x4, but it's a pretty good one. But I want to unpack this a little bit more, because I know that for most of us, it is a thing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Mark's leaving. And he's texting me. Why does he do that in the middle of everything? Take your phone, right? Take your phone. Take your phone, Mark. I have to tell him that. He won't take it otherwise. It's just how it is. I'm going to unpack this heavy sentence, and sorry for the little sidebar there, but that's how it works. I think this statement touches on 4 dimensions of the human experience. And this is important, because when we understand that we are very multi-level dimensional human beings, then we can start to see our way with a different lens. Because sometimes it's not just a matter of putting on a different pair of glasses, but it's a matter of adjusting the lens to a different color. Okay? All right. The first thing is that a lot of us have emotional baggage. Pinkies up if that's you. And if you're not putting your pinkies up, how is it that you managed to get through this life unscathed? We all have emotional baggage, every single one of us. But when we have this emotional baggage, and a lot of times it comes in the way of hurts, It comes in the way of grudges, right? And somebody, somebody traumatizing you even. That's a big one, right? But what this does is it hinders our ability for the present, and it hinders our ability into the future of what it is that we could do, become. It gives us a big, massive, it's the get smart doors. Da, 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 da. Look at all the pinkies. Yeah, we're all there, right? It's all of us. Every single one of us on the planet has emotional baggage. And it's not up to us to compare your emotional baggage to my emotional baggage, etc. And if you've ever been in one of those conversations, the one-upsmanship game, where somebody says, well, you think that's bad. In my life, I blah, 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 blah. We could do that all day long. What is that going to prove? Absolutely nothing. But if we are tethered to that emotional baggage, if we hold on to that emotional baggage, guess what's going to happen? We become stagnant, we do not grow, and we do not become the women that we have been called by God himself to be. You're hearing me on this? The emotional baggage isn't there, obviously, for our benefit. It's there for us to move past. Move past. There's a lesson there. Look for the lesson and leave the rest. That's what we call the experience file around here. We can learn from that, but we don't have to be encumbered by it. That's a huge differentiator. Doesn't that set you free? Didn't me. Number 2 is limiting beliefs. Well, hello, limiting beliefs, right? Hi, Autumn, by the way, and Anne. I will say that every single person also, because of our emotional baggage, where do you think our limiting beliefs come from? Oftentimes it is our emotional baggage. And we carry about these limiting beliefs, believing that our capabilities and the capacity to love, to our worth, etc., is all limited in some way. We often do this to our detriment, and that is the thing that goes on to shape our destiny. So negative beliefs are the same, but only worse, probably, than limiting beliefs. And the thing that happens, though, is that they can create self-fulfilling prophecies. And this is how your brain works. Remember, the reticular activating system is looking for the thing that you are thinking about. So if you're going out to go buy a car and it's a red Prius, suddenly you're alert to all the red Priuses on the road. And it wasn't because they weren't there before. They've always been there. The reason that they're there now is because you have been alerted to them, and your brain is always going to seek evidence to support the things that it's thinking about and the things that it's seeking. So when we do that with these negative things, we're bringing them in and creating self-fulfilling prophecies. That sucks. That sucks in a big way. And guess what happens to growth? Guess what happens to the fulfilling life that you dreamt about on your vision board? Guess what happens to your goals? They tank. They go down. And the same thing is true with the comfort zone, folks. We don't like that, do we? We don't like comfort zones. They're so uncomfortable. Well, we love comfort zones. We don't like being out of the comfort zones. It is uncomfortable. It is risky. It feels weird. It feels strange. It feels foreign, because it is. That part of your brain, as you know, is the amygdala. And the amygdala says, no, 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 unsafe, unsafe. So when you dare to step into the unknown, when you say, I'm just going to do it anyway, as bad as it feels, you're breaking the bondage of what your comfort zone is holding you back from. You're breaking that in half. And that's the thing that's oftentimes holding you back, is being comfortable, is being in the known. Well, I know, that hamburger is always going to be there for me. It's always going to make me feel better. That fill in the blank thing is always going to. But when you dare to step into the unknown, embrace the discomfort, embrace, things begin to change. They do. They have to. There's no other choice. It has to. The chemistry has changed, right? The dynamic has completely changed. So If you want to pursue the life that you want, obviously you have to get out of the comfort zone. And then the last thing is a weird one. It's the keeping up with the Joneses things. It's the material possessions. It's the comparison thing. It's trying to stay in pace with that of the world. And guess what happens with that? You don't get anywhere with that because you don't have an opportunity to develop any kind of relationship, any kind of happiness. It's always going after the thing and the next thing and then the next thing after that. And it distracts from fulfillment because fulfillment is found in the places where it isn't about the material possessions. It isn't about the status. It's about you becoming the best that you can be. Otherwise, this stuff just paralyzes you into clawing your way to the top. And you can see what a huge distraction this is. But here's the good news about this. You can let go. Yes, you can. Every single person can. And this is the path to being liberated, obviously. And truly letting go is a conscious decision. It isn't just like, I think I'll do this, or maybe I'll do that, but it's a conscious decision to release the hold that these aspects have in our lives. And guess what? The process is both challenging and liberating at the same time. It won't be easy. It won't be fun at times, but it is worth the struggle that you need to. It is the struggle bus. We have to get on board the struggle bus and be good with it. All right? If you think about this, if you lift weights, you know that you don't just go from lifting 10 pounds of weight to lifting 20. That's too hard. But if you lift 10 pounds and you go to 12, there's still going to be some struggle, but you can do it. It's a little harder, but you can still lift it. You can still do it. That's exactly what this is about. That's exactly what this is about. So here's some strategies to help facilitate that process. The number one thing is self-reflection. We have to do this because when we are self-reflecting, we're looking, it's exactly what it says, self-reflecting, looking in the mirror, looking at your stuff. Because guess what, sister? You've got it. You've got stuff. Yay! If you got stuff, you got your pinkies up. Because honestly, how do we otherwise? All of us have it. We have it. We've got our stuff. We've got our things. But it's the people who are avoiding it and unwilling to look at it that can't get past anywhere. They're stuck. They can't let go because they're too busy holding on. And that is where we don't want to be. So what are you going to do? You're going to journal. You're going to meditate. You can maybe even do some therapy. But don't go around in circles on this stuff. Take a look. Look at what you wrote. Are you writing the same thing over and over again? Are you talking about the same thing over and over again? Are you meditating even on the same thing over and over again? Ask for clarity in your prayers. Say, I feel like I'm in this loop. All of us do. But if we're doing that self-reflecting thing, we're going to see the loop. And we can use these tools to help ourselves. We can also challenge those limiting beliefs because by gum, you've got them. You've got big ones, sister. Yes, you do. You've got big ones. So when you identify them and call them by name, you can say, I'm calling you out, limiting belief. I'm calling you out saying that I'm not worth it. I'm worth it. Yes, I am. You develop affirmations that are empowering for this very thing. And one of the two things that I use that really help with this whole situation is, of course, I can do this. Of course, I've got the gumption to be able to get from A to Z. Of course. And then the other one that I like to use is, what if I did X, Y, and Z instead of this that hasn't been working? What if I did that? What if I was successful and start seeing those things and start putting that energy and that perspective and that focus on the situation? That just works. The third thing is that you have to embrace the discomfort. We talked about the comfort zone, but the discomfort is basically a bell ringing saying you are growing. Are you uncomfortable? Do you not like where you are right now? Is it just feel a little bit weird and odd and off and strange and foreign like we just talked about? Then let me tell you this right now. You can write this in your journal, and it's a good thing to write in. I am uncomfortable. I do not like this right now, but I know that I am growing. I know I am shaking certain limiting beliefs. I know that I am in a place of growth. Growth hurts. Do you remember when you were a kid? I remember when I was a kid and I was going through a growth spurt, and my dad would come in, it's just one of the weird things that you remember. And I remember this, like, I don't know, liniment stuff that he had, but he had this very minty stuff that he would rub on my legs because my legs hurt. And they were literally growing pains. I shot up from, I don't know, I think from 6th grade to 7th grade or something. I grew like 5 inches or something. But those are growing pains. You feel them. They are literal growing pains. We do this in our psyche and in our spirit, in our being. It's part of this whole growth situation. The other thing that we need to do is we need to go for forgiveness. Sometimes you need to forgive yourself for something that you did that was just life-changing. Sometimes you need to forgive someone else for something that they did. But this might be another cosmic 2x4 for you. You don't have to feel forgiveness to grant forgiveness. You just have to do it. It is an act of love. And oftentimes it's an act of love for yourself. It's your saving grace to forgive yourself and to grant forgiveness to that other person. And I will let you know too that, the other person does not have to fit into the equation for this. You're not doing it for the other person. You're doing it for yourself. It's to let go and to move on so that is not going to hold you back anymore. But forgiveness can be sticky, and it can be you're forgiven one day and the next day it comes back and you're like, yeah, that person, yada, yada, yada. Here we go again. But if you've made a decision to forgive, then you can go ahead and say to yourself, yeah, I know, and that will always exist. But I have made a decision to let go and to forgive this person, even if they never come to me seeking my forgiveness, even if this is just all it's ever going to be is this particular sentence, I'm good with it. And the peace will come. The peace will come because remember, that kind of peace, that kind of forgiveness, that is a God-given thing. And it's something that's beyond our scope of understanding. It really is. But if you believe and allow for that peace that passes all understanding to come, I believe God will grant that to you. It just takes sometimes a little work. And number 5 is prioritizing your inner fulfillment. Putting yourself first. What about that? It does sounds really selfish, doesn't it? Put yourself first. It is not. It is not. But when you shift to somehow fulfilling that inner stuff, not worrying all about the outside stuff, not worrying about what everybody else is doing, not worried about like, am I growing? Am I not growing? Not doing any of that stuff, but instead filling your life up with great appreciation, gratitude, doing gratitude walks, appreciating the grocery store. Thank you so much for bagging up my groceries for me. I really appreciate how you did that. Complimenting the teenager who's wiping down your car at the car wash. You do a really good job. Every single time I've been here, you do such a great job. I appreciate it. Just think on how your words can light somebody else up. Do it when you're walking the dog and having gratitude. I do it with Lincoln, for heaven's sakes. I always say, oh, you're such a good, look at you. You're the best dog in all the land. I always say that to him. And he acts like it too. I swear he's hearing that. These are the words we need to hear. These are the words others need to hear. These are the words that soothe our souls and make us feel like we belong here and that we're important. And that's enough. That's enough. Just that kind of having that kind of a very aware, that kind of awareness of yourself, the people around you, and how your words can be such edification for yourself as well. Number 6 is to seek support, because sometimes You just need somebody with skin on. Sometimes you need to remind yourself that you are a woman, not an island, and that your community is important and your community is there for you. Reach out, ask, because I will tell you at the end of the day, we need each other. And if you want to grow old in a way that is going to be fulfilling and great, two things you need to do is to avoid dementia: exercise and be in community. Those two things, the strongest things that you can do. So do them. So another cosmic 2x4, maybe this is the third one, but I think this is true. The act of letting go is not about loss, but it's about making room for what's next. When we let go, we allow for the new. When we let go, we're saying yes to what's next. And I will tell you with all my heart, from me to you, I want that for you. And I know you want that for me, because this is how we grow. This is how we expand the borders of our hearts. And this is how we become the vibrant women we're meant to be. This is how we live in full bloom. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that and it was helpful. And don't forget the announcements. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you. The announcements, of course, are on the announcements page, savingdinner.com/announcements. So, well, thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. Trying to let go of, well, stop trying and just do is what I will say to you. Just stop trying and just do, right? What does Yoda say? There is no try, just do. Don't forget about the detox. Get yourself signed up for that. That's savingdinner.com/restore. Carb cutter, buy one, get one. Dang good deal. I live with these things in my purse and on my counter. They're the best. And that's it. Those are the two biggies, but you'll find the rest of it at savingdinner.com/announcements. Thanks for joining me. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.